Hi, this is Matt from tracingmatt.co.uk, and this is the new HTC Touch Dual. And as you can see, the device comes in the now familiar black HTC packaging. Inside have the black box. The device laid out very much as you'd expect now from HTC. Device right on top, headphones either side. I'll come back to that in just a moment. So underneath, I have the headphones which are attached to the top there, with an inline microphone, with a push button for answering and releasing the calls, and a volume control there. And as you can see, it's the standard extended mini USB connector there. So it comes with a case, which is a pouch style case. Quite unusual for HTC to supply a case like this. It's normally a leather pouch that sits on your belt. Inside there we have a spare stylus and the battery. The battery actually is quite large, and the capacity is 1120 mAh. So the pouch is sort of made of soft material, branding on the front there. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not a big fan of cases, but it's okay. Underneath we have all the manuals and getting started guides, CD-ROMs and so on. Just have a look at the CD-ROMs so you can get an idea of what's installed. That's your getting started guide on CD, and your application disk, which includes sprite backup and GPRS monitor, and I would assume it will also include ActiveSync. That's on the side. And then inside the box, we've got the USB sync and charge cable and a USB style mains adapter charger. Okay, so let's take a look at the Touch Dual. See, it's very similar in design, as you would imagine, to the original HTC Touch. Also, we have front-facing camera for video conferencing. Display is 240x320. And is completely flush with the front of the device, no bezel as such. You have your red and green phone keys, send and end. Below that you have D-pad style control with a button on the middle and an action button. On this side we have a camera control, and stylus slides in at the top. Right on the very top we have the power button. And on this side we have up down rocker for volume control, and socket for USB sync, charge, headphones and so on. Also rubber cover here, SD card, which is dissimilar to the original Touch, which had everything on a side cover. As you can see, we can slide the panel open and we have 16 keys. Very shiny there, you can make that out, but it's a very gloss, shiny finish. The keys are fairly large, quite positive action to them. This is the 16 key version. There is a 20 key version available, but the 20 key version not going to be released here in the UK. If you need the 20 key version, unfortunately you've got to import it. Finally, under the back, the cover just pops off. And we have a place where the SIM card goes, with a rubber bit there that just actually holds the SIM card in, and obviously the large cavity there that the battery goes in. Let's just install the battery. Just go in there, very simple. That goes back on. There you go, and let's push the power button to start her up. While it's starting up, let's just mention the camera on the back. There's a 2 megapixel camera on the rear. There isn't a flash, but there's the small mirror so that you can take pictures of yourself should you so desire. And also a little grill over the loudspeaker, which, as you can see, faces towards the rear. Just wait for the Touch Dual to start up. While the device is starting up, let's just talk about specification. The specification of Touch Dual is a lot better than the original HTC Touch in many ways. Firstly, we have a 400 MHz processor and 256 meg of ROM, 128 meg of RAM, both of which there are double that of the original HTC Touch. Okay, let's just align the screen. Skip that. Wait for the customization. This is actually a 3G device, or 3.5G in fact, actual fact, because we have HSDPA, 3G, UMTS, GSM, Edge, and GPRS, and it is tri-band. So you have 900, 1800, and 1900 MHz network coverage. As I mentioned, this is the 16 key version. I don't know if you can make it out there, but when the device is turned on, the keys are backlit. They're in white. We also have Bluetooth 2, and the USB does support USB 2. That screen, as I mentioned, is 240x320 and is 2.6 inch, and it is LED backlit. Now the claimed standby time of that battery is up to 250 hours, and the talk time, or usage time as we're now quoting, is 3 hours for 3G and 5 hours for GSM use. I'd say that was a little optimistic, having used the HTC Touch, but it's probably not too far from that. As we see, we haven't got a SIM card in this one, so let's cancel the setup in the original settings. Display looks very much like the original HTC Touch with the black or grey home screen. We've got a very sensitive display. As you can see, you've got the touch flow with the cube, as we would expect, and we can swipe that in and out. Again, very nice. So the device is a little thicker than the original HTC Touch, and if we compare that to, say, the Titan 2, we're now looking at a fairly similar size device. Overall length, width, we're looking at slightly thinner, and actual thickness, again slightly thinner, but probably not a lot to choose between them. When we open them up, you get an idea of the size there. It is quite a lot lighter than the Titan 2, but heavier than the original HTC Touch. As always, we're going to be reviewing the HTC Touch Dual on site, so thanks to Clove Technology for supplying a review device. You can find the Touch Dual on the Clove Technology site, www.clove.co.uk, and actually have the product in stock at the moment. And as I say, the review will be online soon.